Hello everybody, it's Flesson19 and today I want to bring you Caravan Update Guide for 1.6.5. Not only is this for the Bannerlord community, this is also in the hope that a developer might see this video. And if you watch it from beginning to end, you're going to understand my concerns of what I've been saying for approximately 6 months, all the way back when Dev Mexico was working on these until now. I'm going to show you all my data, and I think you're going to be able to realize what the problems are, and I think I have solutions of how to fix them. First thing I want to run through is exactly how I do this. I take 10 different people. I make them a certain amount of skill, and I send them out. I send 10 caravans out for a month to get established. Once they are established, then I send them for an entire year. If any one of them gets captured, I throw it out and do it again. I want to know what 10 caravans are going to do for a year. I have absolutely no wages, so I start with 0 money, and then I will run it per caravan per day. And that is what you're going to hear me say. In my first test, I took 10 companions that all had 1 skill hard cap. I sent them out for an entire year, and after 20 runs, I was able to average 310 profit per caravan per day, with the highest being 351 and the lowest being 292. I then increased everyone's skills to 50. I chose perks that could help when it comes to running caravans. I sent the 10 back out again. If anyone got captured, I threw it away, and I did it 20 times. When I got finished, it was 379 average profit per caravan per day, with the high being 405 and the low being 358, which is not shocking because I have learned that riding, scouting are two of the most important skills for survivability on caravans. So then I wanted to run one final test. I then ran the same caravans, except this time I increased their trade to 100 for a better trade penalty reduction. This time they made 387 with a high of 419 and a low of 362. Trade needs to be increased for companions running as caravan masters to get more profit. That is the easiest way to handle that situation. If you're going to have a caravan master and you're going to invest valuable focus points into trade, you should get a reward for doing it since focus points are so valuable. If you're able to increase that so that way that trade skill offers them more profit, then that is how you're going to be able to solve the situation with caravan. The one thing that I wanted to state was, with this, I made 387 profit per caravan per day. And while that sounds good, and I believe if developers look at it, they are going to say that is a pretty good number. However, let me just state this. What you don't realize, though, is that it costs $22,500 for a non-Aserai to start with higher level fruit. Now, if you take that 387 profit they made over the course of 1 year, and you multiply that out by a year, that means they made 32,508 profit for a year. However, if you subtract the 22,500 that it costs to start the caravan, you now only made 10,008 dinars for an entire year. If you divide that by the 84 days in a year, that caravan has now made only 119 profit per day. That is where the problem comes in. People look and see I'm making almost 400 a day, but they do not account for that 22,500 initial cost to make a caravan. That is why caravans are so terrible. Why should I pay and take a risk to make 119 a day when I can just get a workshop that can get me 2 to 250 a day? Now, that will cover profit. There is one final key piece of information that needs to be discussed when it comes to caravans, and that is survivability and longevity of profit. So in my final test to test how long these caravans can last and how much profit you can make, once again, I took 10 caravans. I sent them all out with just 50 skill hard caps so they would get no more. This time I sent them out for 2 years, which the developers have told me is the average a caravan should last. We have been saying as the game progresses that it gets more difficult for caravans to survive and we need help. This is what I've also been asking for 6 months. I've offered 2 suggestions and have been shut down both times. And here I'm going to show you absolute proof why it needs to be done. I sent those 10 caravans out for 2 years. If they got captured, I did not go back after them. After I did that 20 times on day 150 early in the game, 87% of the caravans made it 2 years. I was able to make 365 profit per caravan per day. When you subtract the 225,000 it costs to start those caravans over the course of 2 years, that means I only made a profit of 231 per caravan per day. Now, this is when we are going to get into why caravans need additional troops. I then moved the game up to day 750. Once again, I sent the 10 caravans out for 2 years. If they got captured, I didn't touch them. After running 20 times, 200 caravans for 2 years, only 18% of them were able to survive 2 years. When you add up the profit, that meant I was only able to make 204 dinars per caravan per day. And then when you subtract the 22,500 it costs for 10 caravans, which is 225,000, that meant I only made 70 dinars per caravan per day. That is the second problem, is survivability. So we have 2 problems that need to be addressed. One is profit. I have felt and I have stated that a caravan should be able to make at least 500 a day, possibly 600 a day, if you have high enough trade. A caravan master with 200 or 250 trade, there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to make 600 a day. Even at 500 a day, if you subtract the initial cost, that means they're only going to make 360 a day. If a workshop that makes 250 a day is low risk, low reward, is 350 a day high risk, high reward? I would say that's iffy. Closer to 400 would be high risk, high reward. Because as I've shown, it is very risky as the game advances for caravans to survive. They need help surviving. You cannot run caravans around past day 400 or 500. And there are traders that like to run caravans all the time. And it's great for them building skill, but you can't do it. So those two things need to be addressed. I have given what I think needs to be done. Trade needs to have a bigger impact on caravan profit. That would solve that. You need to increase caravan size. I have made 2 different proposals to the developers. Add a 2 or 3 increase per clan tier. However, if that is harder to go ahead and implement in the code, add a third option where your first one, 15,000, I believe 750, creates a caravan. 22,500 gives you a caravan with increased higher level troops. Make a third option. Maybe it'll cost 30,000, but make it with higher level troops, and you get, I would say, in my opinion, 15 more troops. So add a third option for us. Now, I know what the developers have already said, that if you increase the caravan size, it's going to slow them down. I think that is an acceptable risk. Also, because caravan masters can use the perks they have to increase certain abilities, like riding faster, seeing things. I think, in my opinion, it is an acceptable risk. But to the developers that do not want to do it, or are thinking it might not be a good idea, I say this to you. We are in early access. This is the time to test it. I have been testing caravans every single patch since 1.5.6. And excluding the last 2 patches where caravans have been an absolute disaster, those videos are still live on my channel. I test every patch. I do more testing and more Bannerlord content than anyone else on YouTube. I have said I am here to test anything you guys want me to do. Give me one patch. Increase the caravan size and increase the profit. I'll test it for you. If it doesn't work, we revert it right back. No harm, no foul. However, if it helps, we know we're on the right track and we're in early access, which is the perfect time to test it. So to Tail World, I say, give me the opportunity to test this stuff in early access for you. I can record it. I can give you the data. I can do anything that you need me to do. I'm not on your payroll. It doesn't cost you anything. But I can give you my data so you guys don't have to do the work. You can go back and verify it, but give me the opportunity to make caravans better again. Because as I have said before, why have a mechanic in the game that is virtually useless? So once again, I am extending the olive branch to the developers at Tail World. Give me the opportunity to make it better. To the community that wants to run Caravan, once again, for the 3rd patch in a row, I am going to say, do not run Caravan. Unless you have somebody that has 200 trade and a bunch of riding and scouting, I would do it maybe before day 4 or 500. But after that, it is not worth the risk. So I hope the developers have seen this entire video. Reach out to me. I'm Flesson19 on the forums. I'm that on Twitter. I'm that on Steam. I'm that in Discord. I'm that on YouTube. Reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to discuss anything you guys might want to try to get this back on track. To the community, take care, and thanks for watching.